You know, not all treasure glitters. Some of it is hidden in plain sight, just waiting for the right person to come along and read a story that's been written in stone. Today, we're diving into a quest for one of the rarest treasures on the entire planet, a rock with a story that's absolutely one of a kind.
And this is our guy for the journey, José Vicente Casado. This is someone who has spent his life trekking across the globe, literally hunting for rocks that have fallen from outer space. He's a true adventurer, driven by a deep passion for the extraordinary, for the unique tales our planet and the universe have to tell.
Well, for this explainer, we're not following him to some giant meteorite crater. Nope. We're going deep into the mountains of Spain because he's on the hunt for something even rarer, a mineral that wasn't born in the stars, but from a very, very specific corner of our own world.
Our story unfolds right here, in this rugged, gorgeous landscape of Carmenes, in the province of León. And these aren't just any mountains. This is a place where human history has been literally carved into the rock for thousands of years.
I mean, just think about the sheer depth of time we're talking about. People have been digging into these exact hills for over 4,000 years. We're talking prehistoric tribes looking for copper, then the Roman Empire, all the way to the Industrial Revolution, when this one mine, La Profunda, became the single biggest producer of cobalt in all of Spain. This land is just soaked in history.
And this really connects the past and the present. On the left, you've got a mining map from over 100 years ago, laying out all the claims, and on the right, that's the entrance to the La Profunda mine today. You can just feel the echoes of the past everywhere you look.
So, what was everyone looking for? Well, yeah, there was copper and cobalt, sure, but there's a much more exclusive prize hidden in these hills, and it's the whole reason we're on this quest today.
Everybody, meet Villamanite. It's this incredibly complex sulfide mineral. Sometimes it shows up as these beautiful, dark, metallic crystals, and other times in these really cool, bubbly-looking nodules. Just think of it like a very precise, very rare chemical cocktail that mixes copper, nickel, cobalt, and iron with sulfur in a way that almost never happens in nature.
Okay, but here's a fun bit of historical confusion for you. When English researchers first officially identified this stuff back in 1920, they called it Villamanisa. Why? Well, they named it after the nearby town of Villamanín, which is where the mineral was loaded onto trains to be shipped out. But, and this is the key part, its true home, the actual mine where it was dug out of the ground, is the Mina Providencia, which is in Carmenes.
So just how special is this one mine, the Mina Providencia? Well, it is the one and only place on planet Earth where you can find macroscopic crystals of Villamanite. That means crystals you can actually see with your own eyes. Let that sink in. There might be microscopic traces elsewhere, but if you want to see it, to hold a piece of it, this is the only place in the entire world to look.
So, the big question is, why here? What makes this one little spot so unique that it could cook up a mineral found literally nowhere else on Earth? Okay, let's geek out on the science for a minute.
To really get why it's so rare, you have to look at its basic blueprint. At its core, Villamanite shares the same fundamental cubic crystal structure as its much, much more common cousin, pyrite. You know, fool's gold. They're built on the same basic framework, but its recipe is way more complicated. Look at this. It's mostly sulfur, but then you have this very specific and really unusual mix of copper and nickel, with just a tiny pinch of cobalt and iron thrown in. Getting this exact blend of ingredients is the whole secret to its rarity.
And this chart really puts it all into perspective. See, most other minerals in this group are pretty simple. You've got pyrite, which is just iron and sulfur, vanosite, which is nickel and sulfur, but Villamanite, it's a total chemical mashup, cramming 4 different metals into that same crystal structure. The crazy specific geological conditions you'd need for these 4 elements to party together in just this way, as far as we know, it has only ever happened in this one spot.
So armed with all that knowledge, let's get back to our meteorite hunter, José Vicente. We find him scrambling over these old mine dumps, these tailings, searching for this geological ghost.
So how on earth do you find something this rare? Well, the secret is actually in the leftovers. The rocks the old miners tossed aside. For José Vicente, after years of searching these piles, he finally had a breakthrough.
And there it is,
Success. He found a perfect specimen. You can see it right here. That classic nodule shape with the dark metallic shine, that telltale bubbly surface, and inside, that signature fibrous structure radiating from the center. I mean, what a find. It's rarer than gold, and for him, infinitely more special.
You can just feel the pure emotion in his words. Wow, what a joy. This isn't about money, it's about something else entirely. Like he says, it's amazing when you know what it means. It's the thrill of the hunt, that deep connection to history, and the absolute magic of finding something truly, uniquely one of a kind.
Which kind of brings us to the big picture question here. Why does any of this matter? Why would someone spend years of their life searching for a rock?
I mean, let's be real. Villamanite has no big industrial use. You're not going to make jewelry out of it. Its value is purely scientific, and for a handful of people like José Vicente, it's deeply personal. So why does it capture the imagination so much? The answer is actually pretty simple, but also really profound. It's what's called a geological endemism. Think of it like a rare animal or a plant that can only survive in one specific ecosystem on Earth. Well, Villamanite is a mineral that belongs only to this little valley in León. It's the physical proof of this place's unique geological history. It's a story written in stone that can only be told right here.
But in the end, the search is about so much more than the rock itself. For José Vicente, these mountains were his playground as a kid. The adventures he had, exploring these old, abandoned mines, they shaped the man he grew up to be. He puts it pretty simply, it changed my life for the better. And maybe that's the real treasure, right? It's not just about what we find in the earth, but what the search for it helps us find in ourselves. So what story is just waiting to be discovered right in your own backyard?